How many plant fits in the surface? In this tutorial, we will see how to manage the spacing, distribution, and diameter of plant representation to define exactly the right numbers of plant on your plan. When you add a plant to the garden, Tisanji creates a surface to which it associates the added plant. Tisanji will calculate the number of plants that fit on the surface. Let's take a look at the different parameters available to us in the surface details. If the details do not open automatically when you click on the surface, you can either click on the details icon or enable the automatic menu opening in the Tisanji setting. Distribution type for lines, then for other type of surfaces. For rectangle, ellipses, and polygon, there is staggered distribution and square distribution. Staggered distribution is selected by default. Staggered distribution may be a little more difficult to implement in the field, but it offers more natural appearances and generally increased planting density. Depending on the surface, there may be between 0 and 10% more plant. Check for yourself in each situation which distribution is most advantageous. In the case you have a surface geometry type line, if there is only one species on the surface of type line, Tisanji distributes the plants evenly along the line. If there are different species with different spacing, you can choose equal quantity or equal surface. In the latter case, the numbers of plants will be indirectly proportional to their diameter, so the smaller the plant, the more numerous it will be. For lines, you can also control the spacing between lines, that is, the distance between lines, or in a vegetable garden, between rows. Modify plant spacing and diameter. You can modify the spacing and diameter of a plant independently. Only spacing influences the number of plants that fit into a surface. The diameter only influences the appearances of the design and the percentage of the surface occupied. Controlling the spacing and diameter independently allows you to visualize a plan when the plants are still small, or conversely, to design flower bed where the plants will be planted close together. For example, you can use spacing that is 15% smaller than the diameter of the plants in a flower bed, and for opaque hedges, you can choose spacing between 25 and 50% smaller than the diameter. Note: Tisanji offers several graphic representations depending on the style you want to give to your plan. The FISA and FISA shaded view, with their black line forming the outer contour, give your surface the appearances of a groove when you set a spacing of about 1/6 smaller than the diameter. Modify the quantity of plants. You can also modify the number of plants directly. In Tisanji line type surfaces, the number of plants is always distributed equidistantly. In other type of surfaces, the plants are placed randomly. Note that if you impose a number of plants on a surface, you take control of this parameter, and Tisanji will not recalculate the number of plants if you modify the surface. This is the option to choose if you have a fixed number of plants and do not plan to buy any new one. In other cases, it is generally preferable to use spacing to achieve a more even distribution regardless of the planting density chosen. Adding more than one species to a surface. With the Add to Surface function, it is possible to add more than one species to a surface. If you change your mind later, you can also remove the extra species using the trash can. Having multiple species in a surface does not limit your control parameter. However, the algorithm for calculating plant in a surface works best if all plants have the same spacing or spacing that is a factor, such as half or a quarter of the other plant. Sometimes it is better to round the spacing to obtain a better result. The special case of direct seeding with thinning. This is a very specific case mainly encountered in vegetable garden with plants that have uneven germination rate and are sown directly. In this case, Tisanji will suggest a closer spacing for sowing than the final spacing. Tisanji will automatically adjust the spacing when you perform the thinning task. If you do not plan to thin, then modify the sowing spacing to avoid ending up with plants that are too close together.